Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late today. Just as you're getting ready to start, there was an ambulance rolling down the street. And I was like, he pulled in my driveway. I was like, is there something I don't know? So I needed to go make sure that everybody was good downstairs. And then he like was out and he was walking towards my house. And then like the neighbor called out or something. I was like, oh God, what the heck is going on? So I had to go make sure. Still don't know what's going on or why the ambulance is here, but he's not in my driveway anymore or my next door neighbor. So he may be one of my neighbors farther up or on a private driveway. So yeah, so there's that. And on top of that, strangely enough, you guys remember when I talked about how the software like wouldn't update and then it updated, but I lost the chat inside of the actual kind of streaming window? Guess what? The chat is back. I have no idea how. I didn't do anything and it disappeared, and then the update went through, and then I guess it restarted, and now it's back again. So yeah, gotta love when computers just do things and it's there one day and not there the next. It's like, huh? Didn't think it was supposed to work like that. I'm glad it's back though. So, anyway, what am I getting messages for now? All right. Um, all right. So let's run through today. Friday. Not going to be, I don't think, tons of movement today. It's kind of a really slow day. If you see, I have all the low income or the low impact news out there, and there's really not tons of it, right? We really only had core PCE, which came in a little bit less than expected. Personal income was also down, but better than not quite as bad as what they expected. And then personal spending month over month, that was actually down a pretty decent amount. Although it was up prior, they had to adjust it higher. Let me see, what was it before? Like point 0.8 or point 0.5. So quite a big adjustment up from the point 0.5. And then so the adjustment down, it's like, yeah, it was a big difference. But I think this was all explained yesterday in the core durable good orders. Pretty easy to see, right? And then we have the revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment coming in around 10. And again, that may provide reversal areas. I don't really see. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You never know when the random messages, tweets, packages, and all that are going to come out. But I don't really see tons out there today. I think it's going to be a little bit slower of a day. Yeah, like I said, currencies have started to move a little bit. I mean, 30 minutes ago, euro dollar was at like 3, dollar CAD was at 1. At least we got a little bit of movement now, and it seems like they're kind of settling in. See the dollar CAD starting to pull back a little bit. Um, Everything else is pretty much following the same trajectory. I don't really pay you don't really pay too much attention to the fives, but the 5, 15, 60 kind of gives you an idea of what's happening. So yeah, so the pound is continuing its weakness for today. But it's strange, it's like you have dollar weakness, you have pound weakness, you have dollar weakness, dollar weakness, dollar weakness, dollar weakness, and then again pound weakness. So, but of the two, it appears that the pound is the weakest, followed closely by the dollar today. So, kind of retracing what we saw, early in the week. Um, let's just dive in. I mean, obviously, there's no news tomorrow. We just had Chinese data that came out. Nothing Saturday. Sunday's got some, summary of, opinions. I don't know that that's going to change too much. And then obviously Monday morning, you can see it's all Monday's pretty wah wah wah. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see something with the Japanese unemployment rate. Yeah, retail sales year over year is, that's a yearly figure. It's kind of like, hey, it's positive in the last year, but it's like, I don't know. They just had like a major lockdown from another wave of coronavirus, so it's kind of like that's not bad. It's not negative. It's still positive. So that's decent. Let's just dive right in and see what we got. So Aussie dollar. So we had a level in Aussie dollar we talked about. We'd hit it once, pushed down. We hit it again and pushed down, and it got to about a 2 to 1. But again, it was one of those things that there was so much basing before that just really wasn't a whole lot. As soon as it hit, you're like, yeah, you got to look at that and be like, are we going to make it? Is it going to be clear? And like I said, worst case scenario, you got out at a break even. But that I would even say that was it was a European session open. It didn't even pull back that much. I was going to say it moved like 12 pips, and that was a 2 to 1. So wasn't anything earth shattering. The first one was a nice hit. The second one kind of came up, and you knew it was going to go through on the third one based off the top of the wick. So, you know, I don't think this will matter, but I think if we can get up to the 76.31 today, we can take this one short. I'm more looking for that as kind of an area that we open in on Sunday. And if we do open there Sunday, then I think that could provide an opportunity to get short. But besides that, I wouldn't say that anything else is just, I don't really necessarily love anything in this one right now. Not for today. I mean, you can see we had a little spike up from 7:30 on, and now we're starting to kind of balance back. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come back down into this 75-90 range. But that's my next level, and again, I'll be holding that level and probably using it for next week. It's not all the way up. Ideally, the 77.04, 77.30 are the two great shorts. But this one has been, it's just been grinding, and I think it is due, based off the trajectory we see this week, for it to roll. And like I said, had you taken this in the morning, worst case, you got stopped at break even. But you were at a 2-to-1 at that point by the time it finally turned. And, as I said, seeing this, this wouldn't have been, anything that you really wanted to take long. Yeah, low, just because of all the basing right below the zone. Okay. Also, yen. Yeah. So we're here right now. Yesterday we were sitting right here. So there's been a little bit of a push, right? 8 pips. So 8 pips in 24 hours. So really nothing going on with the Aussie yen. But with all the yen data coming in Monday, maybe we'll have an opportunity to start, doing something with this one early next week. Not much to say about this one. I mean, there's no trend here. I mean, if you were doing, purely kind of sideways based strategies, you've done well. But besides that, 84.60, 83.60 are the two that we're looking for. That's really we got to focus on. So yeah, we'll see. Wish there was something more exciting to talk about, but we're kind of in no man's land up. And really, if it starts to break down a little bit, if it comes through this 83.90 level, again, it's a smooth sailor going down. So I'd almost say once we break through this channel, top or bottom, you can take this one long because, again, racetrack here or racetrack here, top or bottom, not much else we can do, right? Until next week. Okay. Euro pound. So Euro pound ended up taking that aggressive. We talked about how there was two entries here, one aggressive. So yesterday we popped up right at 7 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock we rolled back down again on that pound news. You can see that this one coming up right past the European Open at 4 o'clock. It came up and touched it again, hit those same sellers, and dropped it down. It was a decent amount, and then again we rallied up again, hit and pulled back, and again we knew this wasn't the freshest of levels. We had our 3 hits here. It technically hit 4 and then left the area again, and again formed a base right below, hit and is now still stuck. So I would say, I do believe that there's probably a bearish setup in this position. Do you want to take it today with only like an hour and a half, 2 hours to go? I think this one's going to start drying up really, really quickly. But I do think this one is going to be set for a short next week. I like how it's driven up to this level. It's not clean, and I actually, kind of if we can grind just a bit higher, I'll move this up just a bit. If you look at this level up top, this one had a very, very strong push right at the European Open. So it's a purely European, and I say European, basically European session, right? EU, UK. Its news sent it straight down again, and this was formed off the European session. So that could be an area where we're willing to take, particularly going into a Sunday, the 86.08 level. Right now, if you wanted to take it short, again, you're going to run out of time. They're going to stop trading this one in 2 hours. Yeah, you may not get enough of a pullback. But again, that aggressive level gave us, our 3-to-1 first. We came up, we based in it, which assumes you're going to go higher, and we came up, grabbed it, and continued to push. So, it wasn't a horrible trade, little setup. And really, for the other side, probably back in here is what I'd be looking for next week for longs. Longs are a profit target to the downside. There's probably a little hiccup down here, but I think this is probably a little bit better of an area right there, capturing that base. So again, we can get up to this level here, 86.08. That'll be the next shorts we're looking for. And again, profit targets back to the downside down here at 85.72. Okay. Euro yen. Whew. Lots of movement in this one. Not really. We were sitting right here yesterday, and you can see, let me see. From where we were yesterday at the 9:30 window, we are 6 pips, rocking and rolling. Still waiting for the drop. We're looking for this one, and again, profit targets will be down here. Looking for that to push. I thought we'd get a little bit more activity in this one, but this one is pretty flat. I'll set these two here, and there's probably going to be a little hiccup right there in the middle, but we'll hold it. We'll hold it right there right now for visual purposes. There we go, to downside. And again, if we do grind up, there's a few different small selling levels, but nothing I'd really like, particularly because, again, it is Friday with the European session. I think a breakthrough would be great. I think if we can get back up into, if we can get up this far, like if there's anything like earth-shattering, I think 132.77 would be a decent short. If we can pop there, maybe we make it. Maybe we get enough movement today with the yen or enough, weakness in the euro since it needs to retrace a little bit back. maybe in its retracing, we get enough drive from this up. Um, we can kind of, maybe get a short in there. 132.77, I think, would be decent. But looking for shorts here or a short of a break of 132.04. But like I said, Friday, this is what we dealt with in the overnight. It's pretty much flatlined at this point with no news. Weekend, yeah, I don't see much in there. Now, this one, euro dollar actually has risen a bit, and this is from 8 o'clock on. Again, this is basically in response to the PCE. Okay, so we've seen this one push. It's up about 27, so it looks like it's a lot. But right now, we do know that there's some sellers stepping in at 119.70, right around where we're at right now, and you're seeing it start to kind of slow a little bit. It is approaching 10 o'clock. Could there be a short here? Yeah, I would say there's probably an okay opportunity. Something along in those lines. And again, it's basing in there, so I don't know. Maybe they do try to push and continue. We'll have to see what the consumer sentiment is for inflation purposes. But ideally, I mean, we are only sitting 32 pips away, right, from a very decent level where we had nice little basing, a little bit of a test, and then a very, very strong push back to the downside. So this one also was kind of setting up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the consumer sentiment gives us enough of a push up, and then we can take a 1030 roll. But I think 119.97 is decent for either a reversal today or for Sunday night, right? I think Sunday night could be a decent open there as well. Let me see. It's Monday. Probably be an okay open. As long as nothing earth-shattering happens over the weekend, the spread shouldn't be too horrible. They should be somewhat normal or should revert back to normal rather quickly on Sunday night. This could be an area where we're looking to take decent positions off of. Now, the lower level here, we're talking about if we can get a breakthrough, just because it's touched the area so many times, right? It was an old, it was the old top here, the old ceiling, and now it is the floor. I'm looking for a break of that through, though. I mean, this has been punched many, many times now. There's probably not many buyers back in there if we can get back down again. That would be for next week as well. And again, depending on what day and what time, we may take this one, short. But right now, we want to kind of keep rooting for this euro and then dollar weakness. But again, hopefully that consumer sentiment doesn't mess it up. Coming in 6 minutes. It is rallying. It is going straight up. So I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be our 10 o'clock reversal here. We held for the open. Yeah, I'm expecting the expectation to be a bit higher than what they expect, or somewhere in the 4 range again. If that's weak, that could give us the catalyst we need to get higher. They're expecting them to reduce that down to 4. That may give us a bounce. We got 5, yeah. So I think if we can get up to there, we take that. Again, that could be a decent reversal today. How much is it? It is 30. I don't actually have my tracking on this one. I don't track all these. I should probably track this one. See what this is good for a spike for. I feel like this has the potential to kind of pop up. I'm wondering if in 30 minutes, with good news, if we can get enough dollar weakness out of this news release, if we can pop up and then roll, and then see if we take a kind of a something like this, right? But yeah, I'm gonna keep that on the radar. We'll see how that goes in 4 minutes. Pound yen. So pound yen, we finally came down and tagged that profit target. And again, had you been trading this one, right, through spot, you probably would have got stopped out as it gave us the confirmation. I mean, it had the initial push. So again, I caution you guys that this is where it should have turned, and it did, and it came back up again. It did stabilize and push down again, but when it didn't go as low, it's where you got to kind of get worried about it. And you would have been over a 1-to-1, so most likely you get stopped at break even. I just deleted it. We had that one position. Where is it? It was right there. That's where that knockout was before news. You can see that this one has continued to push down. So for those of you that had the knockout, again, it was a decent runner all the way down. And again, your profit target should have been taken at this point. It was 150 pips to the downside. Your risk on it was like, I think 15 or 20 or something like that. So I'm no longer in this one, but this was a great little short to the downside. I mean, if it turns and rolls back down again, it's kind of like, hey, whatever. I got my profit where I needed to be. Um, you know, Going into Friday after you get that push, this is it's one of those things. When you're trading these, if you're deep in profit before the U.S. session opens, take your profit. Most times not the not. If there's a lot of European session movement, it's going to reverse when the U.S. trader steps in to kind of counterbalance what the U.K. trader did. This is exactly what this did. It pushed down at 8:30 today. We knew what was happening, right? You knew what was going to happen at 8:30 today. Why risk all your profit from the overnight, right, for a news release, right? So that was the low when the PCE came in and started to push back up. So, and again, you're like, well, that's not the yen or that's not the pound. It's like, no, but it is the yen. So you should be out of this one. I would say levels for next week. I mean, we do have some basing coming in, right? Where we are. We'll have to see what it does for the rest of the day. I'm hoping that it can grind through this. I would actually like to get I would like to get long the pound yen going into next week. I think how we've had this pullback, and again, I don't know if you watched the next presentation or not. This right here is where we started on the 21st. This was Monday, right? We were all the way up until Wednesday, right? Then we hit Thursday, and that's where we started to push back down again. So I'm kind of looking for something similar to this. And again, saw the week before it was bound. It's having big swings. So once we figure out where the trend is, kind of want to stay with it. Now, if we hear any news releases, could it come all the way back down? I guess it could, but at least there's some stabilization here in the middle with some decent kind of pops out of it. I'd like for that to, I really like to get long, unless there's any like crazy news this weekend where we need to change it. But I think it's time for it to go back long. Pound dollar. As you can see, pound dollar has just been sucked right back up into that same level. It was a nice pop. We've pushed, and then kind of it came down and ran into those buyers. Those buyers have actually stepped in 3 times now, right? The buyers that are established right there. I mean, you see the black line here. I'll just put it right on the black line. 1, 2, and 3. So it's been a decent area. I didn't trade off of that area. We talked about having an issue getting through. We were actually looking for it to go a bit higher. I think if we do see the pound kind of destruction next week for some reason, again, I'd like it going long, but you can't argue with what the chart's going to say. 138.58 is still on my radar. I have my alert set. If we come down and base anywhere close to this area, I'm looking for shorts to come all the way back down to 138. Basically 138 flat. I think if we get the 138 it'll get sucked in. We'll see what it can do. I like the shorts up top here. Obviously, we still have the. Whoops. Put that back. I can delete it. I don't need it right now. I think anything up top here. I think here is good. I think a break of here is good, and I think profit targets down here are good. So right now, I got a couple different things that I'm looking to play, but I will say, I mean, I like this movement. I like how it came up and tested that level at 139.74. Definitely think it's worth probably one more hit. Do I think news right now is going to be able to do it? Probably not, right? I mean, that's going to require a 50-pip move on an orange number. I just don't think the orange number is going to work. So let's see what our number comes in as. So it did. It came in at 4.2, and then consumer sentiment was so inflation was higher, but the consumer sentiment was 1 point lower, right? And that's what people are going to look at, like, oh, the consumer's worried. But yeah, but the inflation, they're expecting inflation to go even higher. So, and again, that may be why that we saw spending less coming in less spending, but again, they're making a little bit more than they thought. So, yeah, not bad, but yeah, so above 4 is good, and they did revise it, right? So, but it's not considered a major thing. So, yeah, so I wouldn't say that that's going to change. I mean, it should give us dollar strength, right? More than expected, even though it was a minor number. It means the consumer believes they're more, and again. When you think of it like this, if people believe that there's more inflation than there actually is, our company is going to say, hey, let's just lower the rates. We don't have to charge them. I mean, they're willing to pay that much money. We're not going to charge them that, right? Let's lower them. No, it doesn't happen that way. If people believe there's more inflation at these prices and they're paying them, they're not going to just magically reduce inflation. Be like, no. We want to treat you guys right. It doesn't work that way. But should provide some dollar strength. So yeah, there's probably something minor in here. Again, it's 10 o'clock. We just had some news that is favorable for the dollar. We'll see if it can chunk through. There's buyers at 3 different levels in here. This is a major area of interest. So again, is it the best level to trade off of? Not really, but there is a small little piece right there, that you could take something minor off of as well in the pound dollar. But again, it's 10 o'clock. 2 hours left. Um, this one is at 0.08%. So we're at minus 5 pips total in 24 hours. Will this help? Sure. Sure. It'll help. But the question is there going to be enough reward on this one for the rest of today, based off of what level of risk came up? Oh, your profit didn't trigger. Yeah. Yeah. It was close. I got out a bit ago, but yeah, I could see how some of the targets on that would not have been hit. So yeah, I'd say probably short today. I expect to see something over in here. I don't know if it'll be a big mover though. Dollar CAD. So you're seeing dollar CAD stabilizing again. Here was that trade from the other day we talked about, and it took a while. This was like watching paint dry, right? Came all the way down, tagged that level, right? And this was Monday, and it took till yesterday afternoon for it to finally break through and hit. And you can see all it did was it retraced back down again. So, question is, if we get back down to the 122.50, is it worth taking? Um, in all honesty, I don't think I would take it today. But I do feel like if we can get down to that level, or maybe open in that level, or even get like a fair to go lower on Saturday or on Sunday, I think that may actually not be a bad thing to take. I mean, we've had a lot of dollar weakness, right? We've seen, at least the dollar CAD come really far down this week. If we're looking for a retrace, that may give us the ability to go a bit higher. Now, again, some of the inflation numbers haven't been great. It's not like Monday is a major, you know, here's what we got Monday. Not tons in there, but you have some, we have some presidents speaking over there, and we got Williams speaking early in the morning. Let's see, what is Williams' speech? Um, International Bank of, yeah, maybe. Are these guys doing the same thing? On the way out of crisis mode, making a success of leveling up. Yeah, I mean, it could. Like I said, I think if we come down and stabilize, I think this one we go long next week, starting the day. Um, Again, maybe if something happens though, again, we do have a racetrack set up over here as well. Keep that on your radar. I can move this across. This is a racetrack here. Just signify it on the list. Right there. Again, keep that on your radar. That is a decent runner. Yeah, it's set 65 pips to the downside. So we got to watch that. So if we come down and start basing and start collapsing, we can use that base for a short next week. So this one's done. We'll take this one out. We'll kind of extend this across, and we'll change this to yellow. We'll change this to a green, right? And again, this is that really funky chopping back and forth. But yeah, so this is on my radar to watch on Sunday. I think we have a setup on the dollar CAD on Sunday. Most likely though in spot, not in Nadex. I think it'll be kind of jacked up on Nadex. Now, Swiss is dropping. We talked about this one breaking through, and again, there was your basing. You could actually use the top level of basing. This is one of the ones that I got busy and I didn't get short, and I'm kind of mad I didn't get short because I had it drawn on my other desktop. There was your basing overnight. There was your UK session. There was your basing, and there was your pullback right at 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah. So we talked about having a breakthrough, but we need to find the level. There was your level of stabilization. There was your entry. And let's see. Now, just to rub salt in the wound, it's up 30 pips. So, yeah. I still think it comes down to 91.26 today. Still kind of holding firm on that one. I'm not in this trade. So, yeah. Had it drawn, got busy, and didn't take it. So it happens. Hopefully, one of you guys grabbed it. Not me. But whatever. It's Friday. It is what it is. So I would still look for 91.26. Again, if we do have a break, again, there's a couple racetracks in there. I think this one is going to be the hardest chunk through, but once we can break through here, again, first target, second target, and again, we have a third target all the way down here for this one. And this seems like a big push, but just like that, I mean, it moves pretty fast. But those are the three targets for next week. There's not much more. Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, it was the easiest setup this morning. And again, I didn't take it at 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on today. Tournament tomorrow, so I was dealing with all that. But yeah, I'm not embarrassed to say it. Missed it. Hopefully, you guys got some money on it. Get that money. But yeah, I it's coming down. Follow it next week as well. Dollar yen is also dropping. Now, this one didn't quite have the pullback. You can see right around that same 7 o'clock window. This one actually started the roll a bit before that 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. It kind of stabilized itself. It didn't really give a clean pullback. I mean, right now, based off of this one getting front run, I'm going to save this level for next week, and I think this is a level we can watch out for. This 111. I mean, it says 111.02, but you can round it to 111. I think that's kind of the decent area for a top, and it was like the extreme range. Right now, it's hard to pull a bottom in this, right? There's a decent level here, and when you look back, you can see what it touched. It ran into kind of a smaller level. I would say, we know we have a kind of a Harry Potter trade set up. I was trying to kind of redraw this one because this one has just been weird to play. I would say that probably top and bottom, at least for any shorts in this one, the way that this was formed with kind of the ascending wicks there, I think that's decent for kind of a green bottom. Um, and again, this was kind of our minor range area right there. I think we still hold firm with that one. But if we're looking for an area where the next probable bounce would be, I would say it's got to be here. So I mean, I don't want to keep taking this lower, lower, and lower. We got our higher time frame shorts, but I think right now this is where we bracket this one off. That if we can clear this top and bottom, we're good. But right now, I think we're going to kind of filter back and forth and kind of churn sideways. Um, we're kind of at that 50% area right now, right? This was just under a 50% pullback, so there'll be people trying to go long. But I think, going to the weekend, I don't know that we could really advance much higher or lower. To go back up, it's going to be 40 pips. 40 pips on a Friday with no additional news? I don't know. We going to do 70? Absolutely not. Is it going to pull and yeah, it could probably. But right now, I'd be looking for 30-minute levels. And again, we'll see where we end. We may have a level, and this is a potential one for Sunday, right? Here's a potential level. I like how it pulled back. It kind of went to that area, and then it had 1, 2, and then boom, it dropped. That drop happened at 7:30, so a little bit before news shows us there's some sellers in there. Again, that could be a level we use for gaps on Sunday, as well as there's a few levels down here that are okay. But we'll see where we end up on the day for this one. But hard levels for me are 111 and 109.81 right now, and we need kind of a clearance of either of those two to really do much with it. Looking at, I guess we'll go to the ES. Okay, ES is like slightly above, but the consumer sentiment numbers they weren't the greatest thing for it. But I still think this will end high today. I think it'll go higher. I don't think it's going to be a massive mover. I don't think we're going to like 4,300 today, unless there's like some major executive order or something signed. But I do think that one is going to want to end at a high. Just being the week that it's had, with everything out there, I think this will be a feel good Friday type situation. I mean, it is basing a lot around here, but again, we do have the wicks coming higher, 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 higher. So it is there. There are definitely some buyers, stabilizing this one. There's no real catalyst for it to drop besides profit taking at the end of the week. So that's why I feel like this is going into the weekend. This would be a great way to end. Is what I feel. What we can have. NQ, NQ is pulling back, but we're basically at the same spot. This is where we were yesterday at 9 a.m. We tried. At 8:30, it pushed up. It tried to get into that level, got front run and pushed right back down again. Um, NQ, I think once we break out of 14,422, we go long. But I think right now it's going to have some issues, and I think really the next decent area. And again, this could even be a Monday level. This one maybe this one ticks down today with lack of any real true news. We just get that profit taking. Everybody's like, no, it's going to end high. Maybe we can find some buyers in either of these two levels. But seeing the inflation, the belief that inflation is higher than it actually is obviously not good for NQ. People not spending is also not necessarily the best thing in the world for NQ because you think about what some of the big driving factors are. Obviously, electronics, Amazon Day, all those kinds of things. I mean, we get a quote later today about how much money they pulled in for Amazon days and it being a record and seeing where the money was spent on Amazon Prime days and stuff. That's the catalyst you need for NQ to go higher today. So. Yeah, I would look on this one for longs if we can break 14,422 or get down to 14,220. I think either of those two are at decent levels. And again, this would be a decent level for Monday as well. Now, YM, You can see YM is still grinding. It's finally pushed up though. It's obviously not moving as much as this was the strong guy of the morning. We've pushed up to that 34,281. We're getting a little bit. We're right around that 10:30 time frame now. It's kind of set for a small short. I think if we can really kind of help stabilize ourselves here, I think again, an end of day rally could help chunk either of these two levels up. But it is kind of lagging behind. It is not at its all-time highs. So while it's the strongest, it's just playing catch up right now, and that may be what keeps it positive. But again, by noon today, how many people are gone for the weekend? You know, um, we'll see. It's got to burn through two levels. The question is, will we get enough strength this afternoon? And if we do, is that what's going to launch the ES higher? And I think it's potentially there. And again, will it take NQ positive? Yeah, it could. I think you can see some buyers obviously stepped in, but uh, you know I don't know that. I think that if NQ busts through 14,422 today, I don't think it goes much higher. I don't think we hit the 14,500 number. I think that's a next week number. And again, YM, I think it's there, but these are two decent levels. Had a nice push here, and then again, you had a base and a drop from that level as well. So, um, yeah, not that it can't go through. I'm saying that would I just start taking shorts off of right now based off those numbers? Not so much. You know, looking at oil. So oil's pulling back. We had this level drawn yesterday. We touched it. We touched it again. We hit it just now. We're starting to pull back again. Um, oil at 73.23. Again, there was even a buy in here, right? The level here, it touched it and went, touched it and went again. So it's what, a 60-cent range. I think oil will start kind of slowing extremely fast here. That would have been, let's see, where's the 3 o'clock window? So the 3 o'clock window is from this range down to 8:30, which is there. So there's our blue. And now we push slightly higher, right? So there's our 8:30, and there is going to be, right now I got to put it here, but yeah. So you're seeing this drop, and again, this is the higher than expected inflation, and again, the confidence going down a little bit, right? So it is this typical of what this news is? Not really, not really. Gosh, we're still in a deep hole. I love it. We're still in a deep hole, but we're in the start of the early stages of a very robust rebound. Yeah, I love some of the highlights. It still improves. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that came out. Personal spending. Mm, Not so much yet. Nothing there. But hey, we're in the beginning stages. But man, we're in a deep, deep hole. But man, is it going to be a huge recovery. So yeah, again, oil's bouncing off that level. It's not necessarily surprising, but we'll see how much lower it can go. I mean, like I said, below this level, we got a little bit more. And again, that's turned it around a few different times. I think overall, when we talked about it before, where we can come back down to, the next really great buying opportunity, I think, is down here at 7160. This was a level we were looking for on the retracement, and it made it about halfway back on the retracement. I mean, here it kind of pulled down halfway, got stuck, pushed us slightly higher, pulled back again, almost all the way down. When we get down there again, it's a decent buying opportunity. But look at this; it's chopping down, and it's already pulled back up 40 cents. It's already quick drop and then a 40-cent rebound. Look at that off the news. So you know, like I said, it's almost indifferent, right? It's the exact same place we were at 9 o'clock. So in that time, we pulled up, grabbed the sellers, went back down, grabbed the buyers, and pulled back up. Um, but look, if we do push through, this is what we're dealing with on a 5 minute pull back again. Impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. Quite an interesting area to kind of chip through. So yeah, I don't think we'll break 27 or 72. I don't think we'll break 72 today, but I think we end up somewhere around here. And there's a couple levels we can take shorts off of for next week. Um, I'm waiting for that big headline out of Iran, though. It's like, come on, give us that big headline, or OPEC plus. That's what I want. Give me the big headline that we're going to increase volume. But yeah, I hope the oil traders that were up here got out of this one already because it's just going sideways. Gold. So you may say, "Oh, look, greater than expected inflation." Not so much. I mean, it's pulling back again. Gold, I think, 1791. I think is still where we go short. I mean, this one has been really boring. Here, let me draw another one of these little things, so I can have it ready for next week, so I don't have to draw it right there. So, yeah, I would say short for gold today is probably not horrible. Again, higher than expected inflation and gold's response is a stack to the downside. So, yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. Not a huge fan of gold today. I think we do need to find great entries for longs, but today is not one of those days. Look for it short. If you guys don't already have an alert set, again, definitely alert. This is extremely important. Have an alert set for 1800. If by some chance we do get spike and we do hit 1800, you're going to want to know about that one. Have it email you, text your cell phone, do whatever you got to do. Um, the news will jump all over that when we can finally break through. But for the week, I think this one's going to run out of steam. We're seeing a little bit of reversal now. 10. That news, it should have helped it a little bit, but it's really not doing much. And then even silver is not liking that news either, right? Silver looks like it's more of a short, and it didn't even make it all the way up. It's close. It's close, but didn't even pull all the way up. So silver, I would expect to probably, I don't know. I would say pull back into this level. There could be some small buying, like one of these little hiccups. Like see how this was a hiccup off of this level. This is probably there's probably like a small hiccup level right in there. But if we hit it, I would expect it to bounce, and that's right off like the 20, 25.90, 26 range. I think that's where it goes higher. Let me see here. Is anything else moving in the last little bit here? Um, dollar Swiss is retracing a bit. 6. Now these are starting to level out again. They were all like 22, 30s, and now they're all leveling out. You're seeing that the pound is retracing back up again. Um, had a little bit of a fight back in this one. Now it's switching back to greens. Yeah, you're seeing a little pound strength. You're seeing pound strength creep back in. The profit taking from earlier today. That's about it. All right. Sorry, we don't have anything more exciting. Look, oil is almost that from that drop. Oil has almost pulled it all the way back again. Look at that. Came up, grabbed it, came all the way down, grabbed it again, and now it has rallied back up. That was a rally of 50 cents. A quick little 50-cent spike in there for oil. Yeah. Don't say that somebody didn't need to make their profit for the weekend. So. All right, well, it's only 10:19. I know we started late today, but there really just is not that much to talk about. I mean, the markets are more or less flat in 24 hours. The data is just not really there. Consumer sentiment is down, but inflation is up. You know, Kash Carey is talking about how we're deep in a hole, but like, we have a very much recovery coming. He says he expects to see some of very high inflation readings to return back down to normal. Everybody keeps saying that, but I don't know. I mean, that seems to be the trend that everybody says we're going to see. Although we heard high, not very high inflation readings. Um, oops. But, you know, that's a new one. Now, let's see. We should see more labor supply come online by the fall, probably because people need to pay bills. Um, listen, some of these things are great. There are two Cascaris. He speaks Dovish on to Bloomberg, and then he switches across, and then he's hawkish over here. When it's so funny. Yeah. What are you gonna say? It's kind of like, who am I talking to? Wait, what is this? Is this a right or a left side? Okay, okay, I'll change it. I'll change it. I got it. I got you guys. I got you. I got your back. Yeah. Integrates it in. No, there's nothing. I think oil is just, yeah. Look at oil. Wait. Is it robust? Is it not robust? What are we doing? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. It looks like it's gonna go right back up. It found some sellers. We'll see if this one holds or not. This is a 3-minute chart, just so you guys can tell. It was a 3-minute drop in, 3 minutes almost all the way back up again. Within 6 minutes, we were missed it by 8 cents. So yeah, so there's nothing else out there today. It is what it is. It's Friday. First Friday back. I love it. We're in a deep, deep hole, right? Really, we're at all-time highs. We're in a deep hole. What the heck does a robust recovery look like? How high? Like that's what I want to know. Like, when someone asks that question, like here's my next, here's like here's my next my next question here. Let's do it on a monthly basis, right? Here's my next basis, right? We are deep in a deep, deep. I can't even find it here, right? This is a monthly chart, guys. We are in a deep, deep hole, right? We're in a deep, deep hole. We're going to have a robust recovery. How high does this go on this recovery, right? I mean, do we? I mean, we're talking robust recovery, right? So if we take just 2000 February 2020 or March, right? Right? Do the measured move, right? So if here we're right here right now, right? If this is what we've done in the last year, right? This is the pandemic, right? This is where, man, we dug ourselves into a deep, deep hole. Okay. If we take this forward in this robust recovery, we're cranking up here at like 6,300, right? I mean, 5 grand is like here, right? Which would be like a huge deal, right? But like, it's unbelievable. Like, oh, we're deep, deep in this hole, deep, deep in the hole. We're gonna have crazy recovery. Like, I feel like I don't know. I find it just absolutely boggling that you know the one side of the aisle talks about how much inequality exists. Right? There's so much inequality out there, and Wall Street is bad. But then Nancy's husband is buying puts for Tesla at 1,000 to make a couple $1 million, right? But yet we're going to have a robust recovery. We're not going to change rates for 3 years, which is going to continue to drive this higher. Which all the inflation we're going to see, which even though inflation, technically is bad when it's too much, like, what does this look like? Like, how do you make these statements that it's such a deep hole, but man, we're in a very robust rebound. We're in the early stages. Like, I don't know, man. Some people have said we're recovered. Like, how long is this going to go, right? And like things like this, we're going to see more labor supply coming online. Yeah, because people are getting the unemployment payments, right? When you get paid more to stay home and for unemployment, of course they're going to come back online, right? Schools are back in full. Parents can go back to work. Like I love when they make these dumb comments. Like how stupid do you need to be? I could make that comment too, and I'm not even a Fed president. Of course, more labor is coming online. It always does in the fall, and there's no such thing as Zoom school anymore. Dummy. What a dummy. Um, yeah, he's being vague on purpose. What to put in? If you want more than one, you type ticket out from you. Yeah, like this, like dumb, absolutely stupid. Let me make the most generalized comment and make it seem like it sounds important. Of course, September, there's always more people, dude. There's no school. You're not watching your kids. Vacations are done. Yeah. And now there's no COVID. There's no homeschooling. So figure it out. All right, there's my soapbox rant for the morning. Um, the ticket Briggs, it's 10 pip chips. So basically, by watching the channel, you accumulate pip chips, right? We do a drawing for more of them too. So every 10 minutes, you get one. If you want to buy, you get one free ticket every time, right? Every session, everybody gets one free. That's why you see a lot of people that only do like one ticket, and then you accumulate them. So like you can get, and I think the only difference is like if you are a subscriber to the channel. So like if you look in there, and here I could probably just go across. I can show you guys. It's actually under the loyalty settings in here. So this is how they're all accumulated. If you guys want to look at it, so by viewing it, you get one pip chip every 10 minutes. All right. If you're a subscriber, you can get 2 pip chips every 10 minutes. Okay. You can see there's no. That's the only difference between the two is if you're a subscriber to the channel, you get extra ones. There are other ways to do it. You can do cheering with bits and things like that. Subscribing, you get some of them. Followers get it. If you do tips, you get, if you tip money, like, because that's a Twitch thing, you get 2 pip chips per dollar tip. And I think I can change that. I don't know. I've never messed with this one. And then hosting, but I don't do any hosting. Like, I don't keep it on. And then when you go to the actual giveaways, I'll show you afterwards how the giveaways are formed. Um, Basically, I mean, there's no being a subscriber, not a subscriber. There's no benefit. Like there are settings that if you're a subscriber, you can tip it in the subscriber's favor. I guess I don't know how they do that, but I just have it. It's even. Doesn't matter if you subscribe, you don't subscribe. The only difference is, a subscriber gets double the amount of pip chips to use, and then there's a store that you could actually um, like there's a stream store. I don't put tons of stuff in there, but you can buy you can buy mentoring sessions. You can use some of the indicators that I use on MT4, and you can spend pip chips. So the girls use these a lot. Will has used this, but has never redeemed it. He gets busy very, very fast, and we've just never been able to meet up. But like Marina, Debbie, they use these pretty often, the mentor sessions, and it's just 500 pip chips. So it's kind of one of those things. It's a way for me to give back for you guys watching the channel. And anybody can use this, whether you're a student or not a student, or if you own classes or not own classes, it doesn't matter. Anybody can take advantage of this. You just go to the stream store and you can hit the button and buy it and things like that. Um, I would like to add more to this, but like I said, it's been rough with the kids home now that we're on summer and stuff, and they'll be able to take the girl. I want to try to get more engaged with it, and now that my kids are not home, that I don't have to do Zoom school anymore. Like 5 days a week, I don't have to worry about where my kids are they on YouTube or anything like that during the day. We'll probably do more live stuff come the fall anyway. Um, so, but yeah, so anybody can do this. It doesn't matter. We can talk about anything you guys want. But that's how it works. All right. So I'll close it down right now. Looks like you've managed to get in. Eki's in. So we'll close it down. We'll do the giveaway, and then I'll show you the settings so you guys can see how that works. Like I said, I'm totally transparent about it. We got a couple minutes. So winner of today's drawing, Ernest won yesterday. So this is the other thing too is we kind of have a fun game with this. So your first one is for 25, right? If you win, it goes to 100 pip chips, and if you win 3 times in a row, it's 250. Now, I don't do a live broadcast for just you guys on Tuesdays. So because we don't do that broadcast, there's no drawing. So on Wednesdays, we do kind of like the currency market where you get double, right? So you get 50 pip chips on Wednesdays. It's kind of how we make it fun. But the winner of today's drawing is Ernest. How many tickets did he buy? 3. So Ernest has figured out the risk of reward system for pip chips. He has a free ebook if you want one. Um, Ernest spends more than anybody, and he wins a decent amount. Marina and Debbie are the only two that they're the thorns in his side. Everybody kind of has their thing. Um, you know, Will will win once or twice, and then doesn't win again for 6 months. So Eki and some of the other guys as well. They pull it on interesting days. So here, let's Ernest won. So let's go to leaderboard. Give Ernest his 100. There we go. He has his 100. But this is how the giveaways work. So when I click copy, you guys can see here. Give everyone their first ticket for free. Send a confirmation when buying a ticket. It's not open for subscribers only. And you see this one, subs get no special treatment. I can make it to where subs are like 5 times more. I mean, I think some people do this. Like you get a higher chance of winning. I would just leave it down here that subs get no special treatment for winning, just because I want it to be fair for everybody. And again, I appreciate when you guys do sub. I sub myself, like on Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, so I sub myself. And it gave me like this. I get like these like things for it. So you can call Rudy for not happy. Exactly. So all right. I don't think he'd be much help now. Yeah, Rudy has some problems now, right? Yeah. When you're a Republican, when you're a Republican lawyer in a Democratic state, I just don't think it works out well for you. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? And now that they have that new system, they're trying to. I love the idea. I don't know what your guys' opinion is. I like the idea that like ranking system. I think that that's cool for things like primaries, but they said it didn't work for the Republicans, obviously, because there's only 2 candidates. I feel like it's not going to work as well for like a presidential. I think using primaries when there's 89 million candidates, but it doesn't really solve the issue of only, again, it brings everything down till there's a winner, right? But what I feel like though is I feel like if you think about it, it's going to really solidify the two-party system, and I really feel like we need more than a two-party system to kind of break the stalemates, right? Like what do we see right now? We see, things like filibusters where one side votes one way, the other side votes the other way. There was a vote in Arizona where the Democrats decided that we're just not going to show up today. We're just not going to go to the vote, right? They've done sit-ins where we're going to sit on the floor type stuff. Like without that third party, I feel like just with two, it's always it's a black or white issue, and there's a lot more colors out there. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like we need to adopt a system like other countries. Like Canada's, I think is great. I think the UK system is not bad either. You need to. I love the idea. I really think the Canadian system is great, where you need to be able to form like a coalition government, and at any time, if you're unhappy, you can, if there's enough votes, you can pull another, election. You don't have to wait the entire time frame from it. But I think it's great that it's like they need to work with people on the other side. I think that's it's great. You can get your candidates in, and if there's I don't know. I mean, we can have that many parties. You get a lot more opinions. People are worried, and The crazy thing in Canada is there's like a Quebec, I forget what they're called, but um, it's basically like a hardliner party just for that area, and they're dominating that area, but they don't go anywhere else. It's not like a nationwide party; it's just a local party. But because they are so in touch with the local politics, they are taking all the seats and all the representation. So it adds like another component to it. It's like, man, they're killing us in our system. Like ours is like when you have a two-party system and those two parties make all the rules to keep only two parties, I feel like that's kind of like a monopoly and is halting progress. Just me, but you know, yeah. Well, you're never going to get rid of the parties, but a third, and I'm not saying just a third party. I think we need a third party, a fourth party, and a fifth party. So then, if you want to have a leftist group, an extreme right, an extreme left, two moderates, and then one middle, they got to work together. You know, because I mean, think about some of the candidates. I mean, like you had McCain, right? McCain wasn't really a Republican. Like he was kind of like that smashed in the middle type thing, right? Then you have some of the more extreme candidates on the sides, right? It fixes more of the problems, and it's kind of like, well, listen, I mean, like imagine, I mean, and again, this would have been interesting, right? Like you had like if Hillary was in charge of Hillary's party, but then you also had as part of the coalition, you also had Sanders there, and he had his own coalition. It's like, well, you know what? We agree with this, but we don't agree with that. Instead of it just being you have to vote red or blue, and that's the only two options. When you add purple, green, and yellow in there, I think again now you're forcing people, and it's like, listen, you guys are the extremists. Like you don't. There's no law that says you have to vote or that's it. You never. It's I think it opens up a lot more people to less, like less public scrutiny. So I wish we would adopt it. It'd be great. Well, we just need to get rid of the media altogether. Yeah. Well, and neuro, the rules are that if you don't have enough of an actual vote, you actually don't get monies and subsidies from the government. Yeah. So it's actually a financial thing too. If you're not in the top two, you don't get like extra money from the government for stuff. So it's designed that way. Yeah, I think gold, green, yellow, purple. Yeah. Well, I mean, the system's broken now. I'm pretty much sure everybody's in. It doesn't matter what color you vote. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees at this point that the system is broken, and the system's not getting any better. I don't care who we think we're going to vote in or who's going to fix it. The system is not getting any better. You know, it's like our tax code. Until they get rid of the whole thing, it's not going to get better. So, anyway, I'm out of here, guys. It's Friday. I'm gonna go have some breakfast with the girl, see what she's doing, and then a tournament for the boys tomorrow. So I got all kinds of stuff I got to do today. So, um, if you need anything, message me on Discord. If not, I will catch you guys on Monday. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys then. See ya.